and the time it keeps on turning, with the rising and setting sun. And I will not be the same when the spring time comes, with the changing of the seasons, like the changing of my mind, as I brace against the winter and wonder what I will find in the cold and in the darkness and in the moonlit nights, turning slowly, slowly back towards the light, turning to shelter, turning to the unknown. Give me your hand and we'll turn toward home.
Thanks, Mark. That was great. Autumn is a time of gifts. With autumn comes the harvest bounty and the gratitude for the blessings that God has given us through nature's life cycle. Traditionally, people have celebrated the fruits of everyone's hard labor with the coming together of a community to share the abundance of food to all, rich and poor. When I've looked around this week, I saw the colours of autumn resplendent on the trees and hedgerows. I wondered, is this peak autumn? On Friday, I saw the morning mist hanging over the fields as the slanting sun slowly burned it off. Then the rain and wind came again yesterday, rustling the branches and making the trees shed their confetti leaves. What treasures and blessings surround us every day. We are now going to listen to a couple of poems from two of our youth members. The first is written and read by Langland Zabodi, and the second poem is written and read by Anis Gale.
Magic in my garden. A ladybird is complicated. A leaf is an impulse to do something. A cloud is normal and usual. Instinct is to be curious out loud. God is a 2D green pointy thing that comes from a tree. A question is a small plant alight. ordinariness is not seen, invisible. And invisibility is a small, usually red, insect with black spots. A burning bush? It's everyday magic.
Ordinariness is a state of being lost and alone. Confusion is a compressed piece of sediment. Hope is a small toadstool that grows in the forest. A mushroom is the idea that better days are coming. A rock is the thing that created the universe. God is something that is expected and common. Instinct is a bush on fire. And the burning bush is a ball of fire that lights up the earth. The sun is your gut feeling.
Okay, I can feel the kids getting a little bit restless, so we've got a treasure hunt coming up for them now. Around the room, there are some special little boxes called dioramas, and they're like a little scene, a model scene that people have made, and it's mostly the youth and a few adult helpers. There are 9 to find and collect. So if you were a preschool child or a smaller child, a primary age child or a preschool child, if you come, and I'd like you to come with a grown-up, and if you come to Lydia, she's going to, in a minute, she's going to give you a piece of paper, and then what I want you to do is go around the room finding the 9 different dioramas. If you find one and there are no lights switched on in the diorama, there's some little fairy lights. Some of them are already on, but some aren't. You can go looking for the switch and turn on the lights to light up all the dioramas. They hopefully might be showing on the behind me, so you can get an idea of what they look like. But if you'd like to go to Lydia now, she's going to give you the clues and a pen, and there's a small treasure prize for when you've done, and then you can go out to your kids' groups behind. Everyone not doing the treasure hunt now can have a look round at the end and take them in. They're really beautiful, and people have spent a lot of time on them.
With a view of the moon to untangle my shoulders. A sleepy balloon, I'm celebrating. Making it through, just making it through. And when I grow up, I wanna be like a tree and change with the seasons. Helping people breathe, but all I've achieved lately is making it through, just making it through. I froze on the spot where you left me to hold everything still worth protecting. I know now at the end of the ending that just making it through is the rest. Just making it through. I didn't know then that out of ash and destruction ground will grow things. I was trying so hard to stay still, terrified that I'd kill something. I froze like the world was ending, exposed hole in my bed, pretending. And I know now that we needed that ending. You were never gonna stay, and just making it through is okay. Time is supposed to run out. Time is supposed to, sun is supposed to go down. Sun is supposed to, like your mood, like your power, like your battery. Rise, fall, rise. Life, death, life again. Sky, ground, sky. Day, night, day again. Rise, fall, rise. Life, death, life again. Sky, ground, sky. Light, dark, light again. 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 Light, dark, light again.
Okay, I might need to speed up the children doing the treasure hunt. Don't worry if you haven't ticked all the clues. If you go to Lydia, she'll still give you a chocolate coin. And then can we ask your grown-ups to take you out to the back and make sure you sign them in? So if you could do that, that would be great. So if you want a chocolate coin, go to Lydia now, and then you can go out to your groups. Don't worry if you haven't finished getting all of them. You can always have a look at the end.
westerly winds blow through, roll down, button down, hatches, hedgerows and matches, tossed under sodden matter, alight the year's favour, and watch fog soften these darkest months we struggle to savour. From the creek, from the corner of your eyes flickers summer and winter's daughter. Part mourning, part laughter, we lean out to catch a drag of mauve, each day's remnants getting shorter. There will be no snuffing out. To smoulder is to hold on without answers, and still perceive in swept up leaves, where your feet rest is a sight for encounter.
This is a reading taken from Isaiah and James. I will give you the treasures of darkness and the riches hidden in secret places, so that you may know that I am the Lord, the God of Israel, who calls you by name. Every good and perfect gift is from above, coming down from the Father of heavenly lights, who does not change like shifting shadows.
In autumn, as we look towards winter, it can feel sometimes like staring into a darkness towards a distant horizon you can't quite make out. A shrouding fog that carries with it a sense of the bleak, cold, and uninviting. It can feel like a time where the skies seem only to cycle through white and black and white again, where the colours of the world are dimmed in the fading light. For me, perhaps a sense of hopelessness can pervade the approaching season, especially once the festivity of Christmas is past and the springtime feels far off. But I had my pessimism challenged recently in the contemplation of some artworks. The style of art that I was looking at is Japanese woodblock prints. It's one of those things where I've seen them before and been attracted to them, but never really fully understanding why. Just sort of spoke something to me in a way that's unexplainable. Here's perhaps the most famous of those that I'm sure you would have seen before. The Great Wave of Kanagawa by Hasaki. There's something magnetic about this image, I think. The energy of the crashing wave, the potential of its power, as we don't see it fully coming down, just what might happen to the boats below. The colour of it against the beige sky, the mountain in the background, mirroring the waves, rising up as though it, at that moment, is just coming up from the ground, like the wave from the sea. This sort of calm and danger all at once in one picture. And at the Hove Museum of Creativity, which I didn't know existed until about 3 weeks ago, they had, I'm sorry to say, they had an exhibition that's no longer running of other Japanese woodblocks. And the exhibition centered around the characteristics of Godai, which in Japanese philosophy are the 5 elements. So along with earth, water, fire, and wind, in Japanese and Buddhist thought there is a 5th element called void, or ether, and sometimes is known as sky, or even heaven. Images of water, like the Great Wave, represent flexibility, the flowing fluidity of formless things, and the potential power lurking there within. They speak of change, of emotion, of a spirit that is sometimes a trickle and sometimes like a wild sea. Whereas images that represent void speak more to the harmony of things, the balance of everything and nothing at the same time. The spaces between things that are infused with unused potential energy, where form can be created. In the next picture, you will see an image that particularly struck me. At first, this image by Hiroshige, you might be drawn to the harshness of the winter, the white cold snow and the steep ascent that the small figures are making up the hill, little flashes of colour contrasted in the stark white landscape. But then your eyes can't help but be drawn to the space in the image on this side. The harsh white sky, which is bookended by the line of deep Prussian blue at the top and the gentle pink of the horizon. Here then is the element of void in this picture. A sense of emptiness, yes, and a vast expanse. A great cold sky looming over the landscape. But crucially, this idea of void is not an endless nothingness. There are flashes of colour within the white that speak to us of energy breaking through, of possibility that white will once be replaced with colour. A reminder of the cycle of sunset and sunrise that continues and will continue regardless of our circumstance and situation. Days cycling through, brimming with potential. And in the next image, void can also be seen in the sky, where the light of the stars and the moon bring a break in the darkness, like dreams that punctuate a night of sleep. This idea of void is in the connection that we feel with the stars, despite the vast distance between us and the seeming emptiness in that space. And then, in the next image, that same void idea is there, in the connection between the mountain in the background and the rocks in the foreground. The connectedness they share despite the distance between them. And there atop the little, the big rock in the foreground is a little gate. These are called Torii gates. They're an invitation to step through from the mundane into a place of sacredness. A small crack, man-made in this case, through which we are invited to intentionally step through and to see not just a landscape before us, but the heavens fully around us. A distance that is not empty, but that is brimming with potential. This void is not a sense of hopelessness, but a sense of hopefulness. This last picture is of one of my favorite woodblock prints, of people caught in the rain as they cross a bridge. And of course, the element that is dominant in this picture is water. You have the undulating blues of the river and the harsh grey strokes of the pouring rain and the foreboding black clouds above. It's a picture that brims with the energy of the moment, like if you've ever been caught in rain that you just can't escape. There's a sort of comedy to it, a sense of joy that comes from giving yourself up to that situation. But also where the strong diagonal slant of the horizon meets the curvature of the bridge, there is a perspective that draws your eyes to the edge of the image. As you look at the people running under their makeshift shelters to try and escape the downpour, our attention shifts for a moment to consider what lies beyond the image, to where these people are rushing, to what is on the other side for them. Not that we should spend too long dwelling in that space, thinking obsessively about what might be or what was, but instead to know that there is another side to the bridge and an end to the rainstorm, that there is potential all around, even where we cannot see it. So here is our invitation, to approach the winter that may sometimes feel like a formless and empty void, to embrace the moment that we're in and to look all around us for the potential that lurks within the moment. To look for stars in the darkness, colour at the edges of the winter skies, gates to step through that we might shift our perspective, that we might see all around us as a space for potential, for form rather than nothing. And when we are caught in the most catastrophic of downpours, as we have been for this last month or so, we can remember that there is another side to the bridge that we are crossing, even if we cannot see it at the moment for the storm or for the fog or for the dark. As we discussed this idea and putting this service together, the quote from Leonard Cohen came to us. He says, "There is a crack in everything. That's how the light gets in. which is from his song Anthem. I'm going to, in my best Leonard Cohen impression, sing that for you now. It's probably the first and only song that I've ever had to raise the key of. So we'll see how it goes. But as I sing this, I just want to invite you to think of what potential you can see in the coming season around you and in you. The birds, they sang at the break of day. Start again, I heard them say. Don't dwell on what has passed away, or what is yet to be. Yeah, the wars, they will be fought again. The holy dove, she will be caught again, bought and sold, and bought again. The dove is never free. Ring the bells that still can ring, and forget your perfect offering. There is a crack in everything. That's how the light gets in. We asked for signs, and the signs were sent. The birth betrayed, and the marriage spent. Yea, the widowhood of every government. Signs for all to see. And I can run no more with that lawless crowd, while the killers in high places say their prayers aloud. But they've summoned up a thundercloud. They're gonna hear from me. Ring the bells that still can ring, and forget your perfect offering. There is a crack in everything. That's how the light gets in. You can add up the parts, but you won't have the sum. You can strike up the mark, but there is no drum. Every heart to love will come, but like a refugee. Ring the bells that still can ring, and forget your perfect offering. There is a crack in everything. That's how the light gets in. That's how the light gets in. That's how the light gets in.
Two origin stories from Langland Sapodi and Anis Gale.
In the beginning, there were four emotions: love, hate, laughter, and hope. At first, they lived peacefully together in the vast areas of dense darkness, content with the ordinariness that life held. But sometimes ordinariness felt like being lost and alone all at once. Then one day, things changed. The four opened their eyes to something new. To us, it could be described as the seed of a tree, but it confused the four of them. Then one day, love, laughter, and hope began to nurture the seed into a small sapling and teach it the things they knew. Hope taught it to look forward to tomorrow. Laughter taught the young tree to look for the little things in life and live in the moment. And love taught the blossoming tree about excitement, happiness, bravery, and more. The tree was nearly an adult when things began to change. Hate grew envious of the success of the tree and one day chopped it down. The universe rumbled hungrily, and the winds began to push and pull the tree into the shape of the earth. The emotions were trapped in the core forever.
In the beginning, there was floating, and then thought, and then the deep, and then loneliness, and then I found a hobby, and it was so. That is the story of the beginning of completeness. In the end, it won't be like it was before. Before there was anger, and short attention span, and nothing, and no interest. But the world was different then. In the end, it won't be like it was before. After, there will be fun. And after that, there will be interest, and free time, and chocolate, and hope. In the end, it won't be like it was before. The world will be different to look at.
the service is coming to a close. Thank you for your generosity in sitting and being and listening and seeing. We hope it has been meaningful. I also want to thank everyone who's helped take part in this. Lydia and I were doing some of the artwork installations, and Anton got all the youth on board to make all these incredible dioramas, which I do encourage you to have a look at afterwards. They've put in so much attention and details in that are just so nice. And also thanks to Mark for writing your song and playing, and for James at the back, he did all the video work, which is really beautiful. And especially also to Langland and Anis for their work as well on their creative writing. I really appreciate it. So in a minute, I'm going to invite the children back into the room, and they're going to come bearing some gifts. Some people might have had a message to ring a bell. I don't know if has anyone brought a bell? Probably, yeah, a few people, great. Okay, so bells are ringing, lovely. So Sam, if you just want to start playing that last video, and with the bells, we're calling the children.
Look to trebles going. She's gone.
Agatha and I go down to the courtyard slinging last year's Sundays in the river Tyne. Agatha and I go down to the Citadel Sunday, red church bells and the moon on the rise. If you were to tell her days are numbered, I'd break the teeth in your fake-ass smile. Maybe in a rare one, maybe in a month of Sundays, maybe in a war I would still read the wrong signs. But I don't mind it, being in the darkness, baby. To be by your side, I would walk the Nile twice. Days of Lantana, each saint with a cross and a hammer, radiation of the Cherenkov kind. So we go walking, birds at the window talking, jubilation in the painted shine. to the citadel when things that graciously came to mind. Gather in the day and some make arrangements. Some know the way and they just walk a straight line. Well, Curly's a baker's boy, living for the harvest nights. Turns to me, says something like the world only turns twice. Once for the laughter, once for the memories after. All the rest is just kicking through the way.